There was incredible tension in the air that evening when my wife's sister, Amelia, arrived unexpectedly at our house. We sat in the living room, and the first few hours of conversation were filled with banal topics, discussing the weather, the latest news, and nothing hinted at what would happen later. Over time, however, something changed. After talking to her, I realized that Amelia was not only beautiful, but also intelligent and engaging. Our conversation was engaging. Her eyes sparkled with interest, and our interaction became more intimate than I could have imagined. The evening was imbued with an atmosphere of mystery and surprise, and every moment spent in her presence evoked different emotions in me, from excitement to fear. Our conversation became more and more fascinating, and I noticed the mystery in her gaze. Her smile acted like a magnet, drawing me closer. Around 6 o'clock, my wife left on business, leaving Amelia and me alone. We opened a bottle of champagne and drank a little. Later, Amelia said she had had a long day and wanted to go to bed. She went to take a shower, and soon I heard the sound of water pouring. Unable to resist, I walked over to the bathroom. I pulled back the curtain, and there she was. Amelia gasped in shock and demanded that I leave, but I couldn't stop. I stepped into the shower, pressing her warm, beautiful body against mine, and we were drawn to each other like a magnet. The first touch was gentle. Her warmth and softness intensified our desire. Each breath seemed to echo the yearning of the other. We plunged into a world of love where nothing else mattered. Our bodies became one, and the night became like forbidden fruit, sweet, intoxicating. We surrendered to the moment, oblivious to the world around us. A few days after that night, I found myself standing on the doorstep of my mother-in-law's house, my heart pounding. "Margaret, my mother-in-law called me," she said with a strange note in her voice, and I felt a deep uneasiness. When I entered the house, Margaret's gaze pierced me through. She gestured for me to sit down, her eyes colder than I'd ever seen them. "I know what happened between you and Amelia," she said, her voice harsh and her eyes fixed on me. My throat was dry, and I tried to find the words, but nothing came out. Leaning back, Margaret smiled a small, almost cruel smile. "Relax. I'm not going to tell my daughter." The relief barely had time to fade before she continued, her voice hard. "But you owe me." My stomach flipped at her words. "What do you mean?" I managed to mutter. Margaret crossed her arms, her lips puckered. "From now on, you're going to do whatever I say. I need help around the house, and there are things I can't rely on anyone else to do, things I want only you to do. I'll have you on the hook, or I'll tell my daughter everything." I stared at her, feeling trapped. There was no way out. I nodded, realizing I had no choice. Margaret smiled, satisfied. "Good. Now, why don't you start with a foot massage? My feet are killing me." The rest of that evening seemed like a strange dream to me. I sat, massaging my mother-in-law's feet, while shame and fear swirled around in my head. The threat of what she had found out loomed over me, and I realized that from now on, the power in our relationship belonged to Margaret. It was our secret, but it had come at a price, and I was the one who would have to pay for it.